Although you may have never heard of China's Ministry of State Security, they might already know everything about you. Allegations claim this Chinese government spy agency does everything from influencing elections to stealing secrets and planting agents in unexpected places. Few know their name and even fewer know their methods, but today we're revealing every claim about how they operate and how they're secretly controlling the world. So let's get started. 1.4 billion spies. The MSS has a spy network of over 1.4 billion people, and this is not an exaggeration. In 2017, China passed the National Intelligence Law, which requires every citizen and organization to assist state intelligence work if asked. This means the MSS can legally approach anyone who is a Chinese national, be it a business traveler, a student overseas, or a tech employee, and request their help gathering information. And these people are legally mandated to help. This system is often called whole-of-society intelligence, and it works like this. A researcher at an academic conference might be asked to obtain technical details from their research colleagues and report them back to Beijing. A tourist could take photos of a sensitive site, and a business executive might gather insights during overseas meetings. Everyone takes part in this. In fact, innocent Chinese students who study abroad have allegedly been used as spies and mandated to monitor the activities of those perceived as threats. As if these 1.4 billion spies are not enough to help the MSS achieve its aim, it uses another method that's even deadlier to maintain its influence over the world. The honey trap. Imagine a stranger who seems perfect for you. They laugh at your jokes, understand your ambitions, and somehow know exactly what to say when you're at your lowest. You start to believe you've finally found your soulmate, only to discover, months later, that every moment was a setup, all planned with military precision. Not to love you, but to use you, to pull information from your lips and send it straight to an office in Beijing belonging to China's Ministry of State Security. You've probably seen this play out in movies several times. It's called the honey trap strategy, and no one does it like the MSS does. In case you need proof, check out the story of Christine Fang, known as Fang Fang, an MSS spy who stole information from U.S. politicians for years. FBI investigations revealed that this spy spent years cultivating relationships with U.S. politicians, but she wasn't chasing romance. Her mission was simple: get close to people with influence, learn what they know, and pass it quietly to the Ministry of State Security, then disappear. And she passed this mission spectacularly. After feeding Beijing with critical information for years, Fang Fang slipped out of the country in 2015 as the FBI closed in on her, leaving behind a trail of shaken politicians wondering how much they had said and to whom. But seduction is only one weapon in their arsenal. The next weapon on this list is one they've used to exert dominance even over the U.S. Hacking. Cyber operatives of the Ministry of State Security are skilled hackers. But instead of hacking one company at a time like other spy agencies do, these guys hack the companies that manage other companies' computers. It may sound complicated, so I'll break it down. In one of the most devastating cyber espionage campaigns in history, called Operation Cloudhopper, MMS hackers allegedly compromised major IT service providers like IBM and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Imagine it like this. Instead of breaking into Microsoft's headquarters, they broke into the IT company holding the master key to every Microsoft server. Reports claim that this exercise gave the MSS access to an unimaginable treasure trove of data and intellectual property, which helped it dominate industries like AI, robotics, aerospace, and biotechnology. But how did the agency achieve this? It groomed military-grade cyber teams capable of building malware that could lurk inside target networks for years without detection. And it leveraged the global growth of Chinese companies. For example, if Huawei builds phone networks in another country, those networks could also be used to gather information. And when apps like TikTok collect vast amounts of personal data, that information could be shared with Chinese intelligence. Intelligence officials estimate that this method helps the MSS steal $400 to $600 billion worth of intellectual property every year. That's alarming, but it's only child's play compared to this next method. Operation Fox Hunt. Launched in 2014, Operation Fox Hunt, a program facilitated by the MMS, is officially presented as a campaign to track down corrupt officials who fled overseas. Beijing even claims more than 10,000 fugitives have been brought back from over 120 countries through this program. And while some targets may truly have committed financial crimes, Fox Hunt allegedly focuses heavily on journalists who disagree with the government and human rights activists. The method the MMS uses in achieving its aim under this operation is as brutal as you can imagine. They go as far as identifying relatives still in China and using them as leverage. In one U.S. case from 2020, federal prosecutors said Chinese agents went after a man living in New Jersey who refused to return to China. His elderly father, still in China, was allegedly detained and mistreated to pressure him. The agents didn't stop there. According to the FBI, they sent people, including Hu Ji, Tu Lan, and a former New York police officer named Michael McMahon, to follow the man's teenage daughter. Outside her high school, they told her, "Tell your father to go back to China and take care of your problems." If you're already convinced that the Chinese Ministry of State Security controls the world, then you're now seeing things for what they truly are. But what screams control more than defeating the CIA in a fight to the finish? The vanishing spies. Between 2010 and 2012, Chinese counterintelligence agents dismantled the CIA's entire network inside China. Intelligence sources say between 18 and 35 American assets were killed or disappeared. Some were executed in public as a warning. Others simply vanished. And by the end of the mini-intelligence agency war, the CIA had lost virtually all its human intelligence sources in the world's most important country. Nobody outside the MSS knows exactly how they did it, and after several rounds of brainstorming, investigators developed two main theories. Theory 1, there was a mole. Someone inside the CIA or a partner agency fed the MSS detailed information on sources, operations, and secure communication methods. As expected, the CIA launched a sweeping mole hunt. They did polygraphs, financial audits, and lifestyle checks on all the remaining agents, but never found any real proof. Then they faced Theory 2, which is that the MSS cracked the CIA's secret communication systems through hacking or physical infiltration. This theory also led them to more uncertainties than answers. Eventually, they arrested Jerry Chun-Shing Lee, a former CIA case officer, in 2018 for passing classified information to Chinese intelligence. Lee had kept notebooks with real names and meeting locations, and it was easy to blame him for the MSS's success over the CIA. But deep down, the CIA knew that the timing of Lee's actions didn't fully explain the scope of the network's collapse. The next weapon is their control over their domestic population. Domestic control. China is the state with the second largest population in the world. But this hasn't stopped the Ministry of State Security from building a surveillance system capable of tracking everyone within its borders in real time. Over 200 million cameras cover Chinese citizens. That's about 1 for every 7 people, and these cameras are plugged into powerful AI systems that can find a single face in a crowd, follow it across cities, and flag unusual behavior instantly. Their AI system also gives everyone a score on the social credit system. Through this system, they track every spending, social media post, travel history, work record, and even circle of friends, and use this to determine your score. Fall too low, and you might suddenly be unable to buy a train ticket, get a loan, or book a hotel room in China. But don't think you're safe if you're a foreigner. Journalists in China have reported hotel room break-ins, bugged phones, and constant surveillance, while hotels that serve foreign guests are allegedly fitted with hidden cameras and microphones. If you don't visit China and stay in your country, don't think you're safe either. Through the digital Silk Road, China is allegedly exporting these surveillance systems to other governments. Remember, if it worked in Xinjiang, it could work elsewhere. The invisible hand. But the work of the MSS doesn't just stop at getting secrets to Beijing or monitoring its citizens. They're also in charge of controlling what people think is true and making you see China exactly how Beijing wants. According to several reports, they use front groups that look like normal research centers, but are actually propaganda machines to publish reports, host events, and bring real scholars onto their boards. That way everything looks legitimate, even though the agenda comes straight from Beijing. And if they can do that in the physical world, just imagine the scale of what they do online. The MSS allegedly controls millions of fake accounts across social media run by AI to post, share, and comment like real people. They flood timelines with pro-China messages, drown out critics, and make it look like the majority supports Beijing. If you've also noticed an increase in cultural exchange trips sponsored by the Chinese government, then you're catching up to another playbook of the MSS. These programs were designed to bring students, streamers, artists, and journalists to China for guided tours, official meetings, and picture-perfect cities. The goal? Send them home with only the positive version of China's story. And with that, we've exposed how the Ministry of State Security is secretly controlling the world. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more interesting videos like this one.